It is finally that time. Chapter 1036. This video is 2 days late because, one, as you might be able to tell, I am sick and I haven't felt up to doing anything. And this is the most I can talk in a day, so I'm really going to use that to my advantage. And the second thing is I was out of town for some New Year's stuff, so I wasn't at home with my microphone, OBS, and all that stuff. So I didn't want to give a subpar chapter review. I don't want to go back to the old Burning Blood videos for chapter reviews. I want to leave that era behind me. So that's going to be what I do from now on. Pardon my coughing if I cough through this video. I am not 100% there. So, chapter 1036, titled Way of the Bushido, which is in reference to something which is on the first page. But, as you guys got to look at before, this is the color spread that we got, and I love it. It is so good. It's really embracing the winter season. I don't know if it's winter over in Japan or if Oda just wanted to do this, but regardless, I love this color spread. That's all I can really say. I've heard some people say they don't like it. It's average. I get it, but I personally just like seeing our Straw Hats back together with Jinbei. That's about it. But we come back to something I was kind of, I don't remember my exact words, but I thought last chapter that two things are going to happen. Either one, King was donezo, just like Queen was the previous chapter, which is what happened. Or we are going to get a follow-up to last chapter with Zoro and King. That's not what happened. But we open this chapter. King down. The text, clipping King's wings. And chapter 1036, Bushido is the way of death. And that is in reference to Hagakure, the guide to being a warrior. And we get to see Zoro is very clearly on his last legs. As we've known this entire fight, he has a built-in timer with the magic restoration stuff from the minks. So we're reaching that point finally. We all knew it was going to come. And in King's last conscious moments, we do get that whited out eyes. He is remembering back when him and Kaido were on a team together. So after the flashback we saw last chapter. But we get King, I guess, whatever Kaido believed he could be, King still believed, but Kaido does not at this point. And we get to see that apparently that's Kaido thinking that he, as in Kaido, was Joy Boy. And I don't know if this means way back when Luffy got knocked off the rooftop, if this was in reference to when Kaido does that, he's like, so you couldn't be Joy Boy either. So that means, at least the way I'm remembering it, Kaido tried to be Joy Boy. So take that as you will. That's just something I realized. So Kaido doesn't, he's completely, I'm forgetting the word, making the Joy Boy thing irrelevant right now. And King says legends are legends. At this point, it doesn't matter what you do. I owe you my life. And King tells him just keep being the strongest. And King says something very, very similar to what we've heard Zoro say, which is going to get parroted right here. And I'll make sure to never lose until you're king of the pirates. Which is very, very reminiscent to Zoro's old line at Baratier. Until the day I beat him to become the world's greatest swordsman, I will never lose again. Got a problem with that, king of the pirates? And then Luffy did his no. So King is off of Onigashima. He has lost consciousness and he was flying off. And Zoro says, if this is what it takes, I'll become the king of hell. So, similar to how we saw Sanji get that power up with Ifrit Janbei, I'm really thinking that we're about to see a new-ish sword style with Zoro. Because last chapter we got to see his King of Hell sword style. I want that to become his new default. Maybe not default, but his new power-up version. Because I assume that Sanji can still use Diable Jambe, and he doesn't have to use Ifrit Jambe. But I hope that King of Hell style comes back, as I think it is going to be Zoro's semi-consistent power-up. And Zoro hits the air, I guess, and bounces himself back onto Onigashima as King falls, and we get the text boxes. Battle outside the right brain tower, Victor Zoro. We have been waiting so long to see that. And then we get to see one of the CP agents see all this, see Zoro fly back up, hit the ground, and we find out that the CP agents are kind of reactive to the fact that not just both King and Queen, all the All-Stars and Flying Six members were defeated. And we have the dialogue, this is no joke. Then again, those wins are meaningless as long as those two monsters are still standing. And even though we see two named characters on this page, I am willing to bet that those two people are actually in reference to Kaido and Big Mom. But this is clearly showing that through Law and Kid's awakenings, we kind of figured that the battle will be handled off-screen. Because that's just kind of how it seemed like it was going to go. They get this big power-up. They're kind of just brushing Big Mom off at that point. But the fight is still going on, meaning that is still a struggle. And then we actually get an exposition dump by the narrator. As events unfold, this conflict approaches a potentially dangerous end. Should Luffy manage to triumph over Kaido, the flames clouds holding Onigashima would dissipate, and the island would come crashing down. That would ignite the gunpowder stores in the castle's basement, resulting in an explosion that would consume the flower capital. Countless people are enjoying the fire festival. They remain unaware of the fact that their lives could be snuffed out at any moment. And we've been seeing this for a while. Momonosuke is getting into it. He is gonna stop this fall with the dialogue. I will stop this chapter. I love it. More exposition. And another crisis approaches. The manifestation of Kanjuro's hatred heads for the same basement, spurred on by the words of Orochi. It may explode Onigashima in midair. Fortunately, Yamato is in hot pursuit. And for that, we head to the gate of the armory, where we've been going for how long? I don't remember. But Yamato says, I knew it! Roki's here, or Rocky. He's guarding the gate. I don't have time to fight him for the key. I'm counting on you, Fuga. So Yamato sticks one of the numbers on the guard of the armory, goes right through the door. Yamato keeps running. Thanks, Fuga. And then we head to the attic between the first and second floor. It's Usopp, and he's fighting like he has been. He's been kinda off-screen, but we're getting a little bit of him. Usopp is protecting the two fallen scabbards, one of them being Kinemon, who we know is still alive. And we know that Kiku is still kicking. That was kind of funny. Kiku is still alive due to a few chapters ago. And this is one of my favorite Usopp moments. I can't remember the last time I had an Usopp moment that was like this. It may look pathetic to keep struggling with tears and snot running down my face, but I don't care. I'll never stop clinging to life. You have to keep going. Even if it's in disgrace, dying after coming this far would be a waste. Which I love. And of all people to say that, I did not expect it to be from Usopp, of all people. I expected it to be from one of our bigger members. Maybe Nami. But Usopp, maybe not what I expected, but we got it. And what else we got is the reason for the thumbnail. We got fucking Izo back. We saw Marco transporting Izo a while ago. And we have some recognition that Izo is a former Whitebeard division leader. And we get to find out why Izo was here. if you two truly believe in Straw Hat Luffy, you have to live on. And we get to see that Izo has one of the Kozuki tattoos on his back. And then we get to continue on. Izo trusts Usopp to keep Kinemon and Kiku safe. And Usopp is surprised that Izo has heard of Usopp, but of course he has. Izo is pretty smart. And for the first time in a while, we get to check back on in Fukurokujo and Raizo. They both have each other in a paralysis jutsu. But Raizo's in a bit of a worse position. He's on fire. So this is kind of something that I picked up on when I read the chapter for the first time. Raizo being on fire, I'm not going to make any big, it's a huge metaphor. But the fact that Kinemon uses fire style, and Raizo is currently on fire, and Odin was boiled to death. Other than getting shot, but he was boiled to death over a fire. That's just something interesting, and that's something that Raizo kind of comments on. I am a loyal retainer to Odin-sama. A fire this mild can't make me sweat. And then, again, back to something we haven't seen in a while. It's fucking Orochi. With Kurosaki. We haven't seen this in so long. And literally we get 4 panels of it. It's basically just to cement the fact that it is a thing. And then we get to see Scratchman Apu and one of the other numbers, Inba, running away. And we see that they left another one of the numbers, Zanki, back. And apparently, I didn't realize it the first time I read this chapter, but this panel right here is of X-Drake knocked out. All I got from this chapter that Drake was down was the dialogue, "Nice knowing you, Drake." I'm an idiot, but after I looked at the panel long enough, I saw Drake. It's kind of just a big mess for me, but I see it now. And the leader of the CP agents says, as expected of a man with his reputation, he was quite a handful. And another guy is saying Apu was running away, blah, blah, blah. We kind of expected it. They haven't captured Robin. They kind of have to. The All-Stars have been wiped out. And one of my favorite moments in this chapter is this nice half, 3/4 page spread. The odds of this new generation winning are 1,000,000 to 1. But we need to be ready if they somehow pull off an upset. News that big would exacerbate everything that's happening around the world. The fate of an era will be decided on this island in the next few minutes. And that is just setting up how massive this fight is. All of these upsets, all of these defeats that we've been looking at, it's going to define the world from now on. If by some miracle the raid fails, which if there's any Mr. Moorish people watching this video, feel free to comment, say hi. But if somehow the raid fails, King and Queen and how many of Big Mom's people are down still, so that's gonna take a while. If the Yonko do somehow come out of this, but if the Yonko go down, new generation up. That leaves Shanks and Blackbeard as the remaining Yonko, and we get to see the world progress from there. And we get to see, again, finally something we haven't seen in a while, Luffy versus Kaido. And Luffy is taking, it's not an easy win for Luffy by any means. He is taking hit after hit from Conqueror's Haki enforced hits. But he is desperate to land this Gumu Gumu no something. And we get to find out in the last 2 pages of the chapter what it is. It's a Gumu Gumu no rock gun. He is using Red Rock in more attacks. God, I've been waiting to see Luffy versus Kaido for this exact reason. I want to see how he is using Red Rock to his advantage. We don't know the ins and outs of this attack. We can speculate what it is. But I want to see just how good this attack is. It's so powerful that Luffy falls over from using it. And in the last 2 panels of the chapter, we get Luffy saying, "This is getting good," and Kaido responding with, I was thinking the same thing. With the teaser text for the next chapter being, "The Smiles of the Mighty. What will the fallout of this deathmatch be?" So I'm going to guess that we're going to be focusing on Luffy versus Kaido for a while to come, if not the rest until the fight itself ends. I don't see this being like the Zoro versus King or Sanji versus Queen, cutting back and forth. I expect this to be our focus until it's over, and then we're going to get the resolution to everything else. Be it through actually seeing it, we might see glimpses and pieces of it through this fight, but I don't expect whole chapters to be dedicated to anything else. We might get some exposition afterwards being like, yeah, by the way, Raizo lost, but he bought enough time that the Alliance was able to find Fukuro Kujo, beat his ass, hunt down Orochi, beat his ass. Kurosaki's here with us. I'm just expecting something like that. That's it. But other than that, this chapter was... It's more of a catch-up chapter. We have a lot of loose ends that we had to kind of get to see what all we still have to wrap up. But it's a pretty solid chapter all in all for that. Would I say it's as good as the chapters we have been getting? No. But that is solely because we don't get a whole lot of action. What we do get is glimpses and pieces of fights that have been happening, which is still amazing to see, but it's just not what I wanted to see. And other than that, I'm going to end the video here. I am still feeling like shit, and I've been coughing. Probably going to edit some of those out. But I can barely talk anymore. So if you like the video, hit like. If you want to see more content like this or whenever I do, subscribe. And if you want to say something about the video itself, if I missed something, your opinions on the chapter, whatever it is, comment below and let me know. And until next time, stay safe, have fun, and read more manga. Okay, guys. Bye.